And let me give you a few other items to kind of identify what is a standard land title survey. So obviously when we do a standard land title survey for a title company, they have a GF number and we apply that GF number onto the survey. So always look for that GF number, that general file number, somewhere in a blocked in area or in a sentence stating what that is. So remember this, agents, when you take that existing survey from your seller along with the T47 and your contract to the title company, you have to remember that when the buyer accepts the existing survey, the surveyor who certified that survey to that GF number that is on that survey now is responsible to those parties in that transaction. That meant when they first closed on that and the survey was provided, that was to probably the title company, the lender at the time, and the buyer at the time. So now your new buyer is not part of that original GF number, okay? And the surveyor, once it's turned over to the new buyer, is no longer responsible for that survey because the new buyer did not pay for the service from the surveyor and or they are not certified in that GF number, okay? So that's a real important thing to remember. Also, make sure that you see all the boundary lines are visible on there and you can identify where the lot lines are, where the boundary lines are, and that there's building lines and utility easements. That's always a dead giveaway on there too. And obviously, if there's any separate instruments like a gas easement or electric easement that's not part of the subdivision plat itself, then those need to be also noted on there whether they affect the lot or not. There might not be any at all, but you need to make sure that that is on there. Also, making sure that all the visible improvements are shown on there. When you're accepting those 5, 10, 20-year-old surveys, it's very iffy if something hasn't really changed out there, but maybe your seller is not really aware of it. They usually know whether or not they've added onto the house or that they've enclosed the patio or they've added new fence or changed the fences at any point in time. But if you look on the line item 4 of the T47 affidavit, it does list everything that they should or could be aware of on that too. And then also encroachments. You know, if you have a 10 or 20-year-old survey, you never know what the encroachments could be. So that's always a good consideration to get your buyer to get a new survey. I think that anytime you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on anything, and you have a way to ensure that you know exactly what's on the ground, where your property corners are, what your improvements are, do you have any encroachments or not, and where all the building lines and easements are, and are my structures behind those building lines? Are my structures outside of the easement? Is my swimming pool within the easement or outside of the easement? Those type of things. And lastly, make sure that when you take that existing survey that it has a flood statement on it. But you have to remember this, that there's been a lot of updates and revisions to the flood maps over the last 10 years, okay? And that survey that you might have that's 10 or 20 years old might not even have a flood statement on it, or it might have a statement on it that has a out of effective date on there, meaning that maybe the map has updated since the last time the survey was done. You should always know if your property has any type of flood area on it, like a zone A or a zone AE, areas that are in the 100-year flood. So make sure that you talk with your title company about those type of things. Holler at me. I'll put my information below this video in the information page. Contact me by phone or email or text me, and I'll be happy to go over any of these things with you. And if you would like to get a copy of this information, just send me an email or a text, and I'll be happy to send that document over to you and your favorite title company. I appreciate you guys listening to me today, and if there's anything that Arthur Surveying can do for you when it comes to surveying needs, give us a holler. We're here to help you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.